Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to NEWSROOM. I'm your host, Omar Khalid. But today is the 21st of December 2022, and these are the stories that we will be discussing in detail during the course of this show. We will begin with the political situation as far as the Punjab Provincial Assembly is concerned. A vote of confidence was to take place and this had to take place by 4 p.m. today, but this hasn't taken place. What kind of constitutional aftermaths is this going to have as far as the Punjab's Provincial Assembly is concerned? There are both sides of the story, and we will try to decipher both sides of the story and see where all of this is going constitutionally and from a judicial point of view as well. This is going to be our first segment. Our second story of the day, ladies and gentlemen, concerns the government and our Prime Minister that have vowed to defeat terrorism. Now, we all know what has happened in the last few days, whether it be the Banu CTD or whether it be other such incidents that have happened in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Now, the Prime Minister has taken out a strong worded statement as far as this terrorism and terrorist incidents are concerned. He has said that he will crush the nefarious designs of terrorists who intend to spread chaos in Pakistan. This is going to be our second segment. Our third story concerns the Resilient Recovery, Rehabilitation and Reconstruction Framework, otherwise known as the 4RF for Pakistan Floods 2022, that was launched today. Hasan Iqbal Sir presented this framework to our Prime Minister. Also, Pakistan, in our next story, we're going to discuss the Afghan authorities and how they are not allowing education for their women. Now, Pakistan has urged the Afghan authorities to revisit this decision to suspend the university and higher education for female students in Afghanistan. This is what they have done. They have suspended education, higher education for the female students in Afghanistan. Whether it be the Foreign Office, whether it be our Foreign Minister, Bilawal Bhutto Zardari Sahab, both have requested the Afghan government to take back this decision. And finally, we will be talking about Elon Musk and Twitter, ladies and gentlemen. He has said on Tuesday that he is going to resign as the chief executive of Twitter once he finds a replacement. We all know that there was a poll that was made on his behest on Twitter. He asked his 120 million followers as to whether he should stay as the CEO of Twitter, and around 57% said no, you should not. And so this is what he has decided to do. Whether he eventually relinquishes his post as the CEO of Twitter, only time will tell. Let's come to our first story, and that concerns the Punjab Provincial Assembly and the political and constitutional issues that it has been embroiled in because of the vote of confidence that was to be taken by Punjab's Chief Minister today by 4 p.m. but that hasn't been taken. Where is all of this going? What is going to happen as far as this crisis is concerned? A lot of questions emanate, and there are both sides of the spectrum, both sides of the story. That's it. But of course, a lot of judicial experts point towards the government, and that the government's point of view and that of the Governor Punjab is the right one. How is that going to change the dynamics of the Punjab government? We've been joined by Mustafa Abdullah Baloch. He's a political analyst. Mustafa, thank you very much to have joined us. Who is in fact benefiting from this current situation that we are seeing? The vote of confidence was to be taken by 4 p.m. hasn't been taken. The Punjab's Assembly Speaker says one thing, the Governor says another, but a lot of judicial experts side with the Governor. What should be happening from a judicial point of view in your point of view?
Thank you, Omar, for having me on your show. Actually, see, it's very unfortunate that a province which is considered to be the center point of politics of the entire country is, going through this kind of situation, which is quite unstable, as I would say. In the previous tenure, when Imran Khan was in power, he had a chief minister for 3 years who didn't even know that what he was supposed to do, and he was being run through Banigala. So that was also unfortunate for a province like Punjab. And after that, we saw that he was given a free hand, and a lot of changes were made in bureaucracy. 3 or 4 IGs were changed, and chief secretaries were changed. And later on, then Khan, finally agreed to Parvez Ilahi, which he never considered as a honest politician in his earlier days. So that was very, unfortunate for the people of Punjab, I would say, not for any political party, but for the people of Punjab. So today, what's happening is also not knowing the current circumstances of our economy and our the foreign challenges which we are facing. In this situation, if the center the biggest province of Pakistan is facing these kind of constitutional challenges where uh, we don't know where this would land. So it's quite uncertain, I would say, and will impact to the entire politics of the whole country. And as far as the judicial point of view, if you are concerning asking me, I would say the governor has a valid point, and he has a constitutional role. And if his constitutional role is not being exercised, and he's being barred from doing any sort of constitutional practice, which he thinks that he can, as a governor, he can perform, then it will create another constitutional crisis, and naturally the courts will need to intervene.
All right, Mustafa, you talk of crisis. The fact remains that such a crisis has been perpetuated by the current opposition, that is the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf. What do they stand to gain from it? Looking at the fact that we are in a humanitarian crisis as well because of the aftermath of the floods. B, there is also an economic situation that the country is grappling with. Why do all of what the PTI is doing currently, whether it be the Punjab government or what it has said about the KP government as well, at this juncture of time, when it should be joining hands with the government in taking the country out of these current crises?
Exactly. I would say that, if you get hold of a province, if you want to rule the province, and if you think you're the leader of the province, you need to come out in crisis. And we didn't see Khan Saab ever reaching out to the flood affectees, be it Sindh, be it Punjab. There was like little bit of photo ops, but not a serious work was seen by PTI or Imran Khan himself. He was either in Banigala or in Zaman Park even before the injury he got. But point is that this recent thing is just a battle of ego of Imran Khan. He just wants power by hook or by crook. He is not concerned who should be the chief minister, or he is not concerned even about the mandate of his own MPs. Even I believe the MPs of Punjab are not satisfied and are not willing to to go for the dissolution of provincial assembly, because they have some ongoing projects going on, and they don't want these projects to halt. So in any case, any political person, any political worker, any member of provincial assembly would definitely want the tenure to complete. So Khan is not even being cruel with his allies, but he's also being cruel with his own MPs. And most importantly, he's being cruel to the people of Punjab. And I think this is not a good sign, because as per Imran Khan, he thinks that he is the only correct person, he is the only correct, morally upright political person, and the rest of the people are not, up to the mark, which is, I guess, unfair. And this is the problem with his, approach. And in this crisis, we have seen Zardari Saab emerging as a statesman. He engaged all those allies, and he reached out to them, and he is trying to bring a proper solution. And you can also see that People's Party has no such majority in Punjab, and they are not seeking to take the CM ship plot. And also they were not interested in the PM ship. So they are always standing for some kind of certainty, some kind of stability whenever there is whenever we see a certain crisis in the province, or maybe in the center. So
All right.
that's what
Mustafa, I'd like to understand from a constitutional point of view, from a judicial point of view, that now there is the Article 130 and its subclause 7 that give discretionary powers to the governor. Can these powers be exercised, as a lot of judicial experts are saying, by the governor in order to dismiss the Chief Minister of Punjab if he does not take the vote of confidence by 4 p.m. and 4 p.m. has passed by?
Yes, I guess the as per the law, as per the constitutional article you stated, the governor of Punjab holds the power to dismiss the CM, because he has the power, and constitution has empowered him for this. So if by far the CM is we have seen Chaudhry Parvez Elahi being quite holding his greed for the CM ship slot. So he's not willing to leave the office. And the situation has brought him into this position because he was sitting in the press conference, which was quite controversial, and Imran Khan asked them to provide those signed letters where both the chief ministers had to agree on dissolving the assemblies. But later on, the next day, Parvez Elahi, on a private news channel, he gave an interview and he denied, and he was quite angry, and he said that he was very uncomfortable during that press conference. So situation
And his
is
body
not
language
in favor
showed
of.
that during that press conference. We could see that in the
Exactly, he
body
was
language of both the
uncomfortable.
chief ministers.
Both were uncomfortable, but Parvez Elahi was quite clever enough to give his opinion and give his version the next day, and he made himself clear. And naturally, this is something which is every political person would do that. Nobody would sacrifice their political future for Imran Khan. So he did what he did was politically correct, and he made himself clear the next day. But point is, this situation is not. I don't think so. It's going to be favorable for Parvez Elahi, and ultimately the ball is in PDM's court.
What are the options that lie ahead now that the 4 p.m. Deadline has passed? What, in your point of view, are the options that lie ahead for the current government in the federation and for the government in the Punjab?
I think the federal government would try to engage with Parvez Elahi, and they would take this situation towards something that would be a win-win for both of them. And we all know that President Zardari has a good understanding in these kind of crisis, and he has earlier during the vote of no confidence, he was quite acting like a statesman. He tried to reach out to all those political entities, and he knew what they wanted, and he tried to engage all of them, and he brought all those people who were earlier with Imran Khan, and he brought them in on one page, and they are since like a couple of months there has been no such issues with them. They are working comfortably. So I guess this crisis will end up soon.
Or Mustafa, there's also the whole number game in the Punjab Provincial Assembly, whereas the PDM has a certain number, the PTI also claims a certain number, and then there is the number that is being claimed by the PMLQ, the number of members that are there in the Provincial Assembly that belong to the PMLQ or the independent members. How is it all going to move forward? As somebody who understands politics, do you feel we are going to see further disarray, or do you feel there's a clear line of that will be followed as far as politics in Punjab or the constitution in Punjab is concerned?
Omar, see, actually, what Parvez Elahi said during his during his TV interview was quite evident that he would not in future stand with Imran Khan, because knowing the stance of Imran Khan, this would be suitable for Parvez Elahi. So Parvez Elahi would definitely would shift side, but he will obviously he had been with Imran Khan for a couple of months, so he would he's find a way to move off from this stance, and naturally I think he won't vote towards for any PTI candidate or maybe any other candidate, but he would at least silently support PDM, I think.
Mustafa, how do you see the future of the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf as far as the Punjab province is concerned? Now, before the general elections are held, of course, but now onwards, now that we see a huge crisis that has emanated because of something that was instigated by the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, do you feel they still stand ground politically?
See, Punjab holds a very critical position because the voters of Punjab are quite smart. They know what they want, and they want is only one thing, that is deliverance. And if in all this political chaos, they would see that they're very well aware of this political situation, that due to PTI's uncertain political approach, there is no stability in Punjab, and there's no such productivity in Punjab. So naturally, I think PTI will lose ground, and and we also saw that there was a big U-turn from Khan's side when he said there was no he is not holding any more grudges with the US, which I think will affect in the in his political career in Punjab as well, because he was quite sure about that, and later on he changed his stance. So he's not holding that strong position in Punjab, and after this the long march that ended up with this unfortunate incident where he got injured, and later on he's like clueless. So people of Punjab, I don't think so they have a history of following any clueless person. They would naturally go towards stability, and they would support either PMLN, or I think there is also a strong future of PMLQ and People's Party in South Punjab. So
Mustafa, do you
naturally
see,
PTI will lose.
Mustafa, do you see new alliance? You talked about PP and PMLQ. Do you see new alliances forging in the Punjab province politically in the coming future?
Yes, I think things have changed, and we saw Chaudhry Salik going to London, and he met former PM Nawaz Sharif, and those gaps are filled now thanks to Imran Khan.
All right.
So
So we coming back
there
to
are going to be quite some changes.
all right. Do you feel that
Yes.
this turmoil that currently we are witnessing, and of course there was a whole list of different issues that have been instigated by the PTI in the last year or so, starting from the cipher, then going on to other things, trying to create instability and polarization amongst the communities, amongst families, amongst different classes of people. Is this going to come to an end, in your point of view, politically, because of the way crises like what is happening in Punjab are going to evolve?
Naturally, Omar, I think this polarization has damaged a lot, and we have, as a nation, have suffered a lot in past few years because of this polarization. Earlier, there were political views; every party had their own political views, but there was no such polarization, and there was also there is a sense of acceptance and collective work within the parliament, and parliament was functional earlier. And after we saw this emergence of PTI and Imran Khan during his own era, we saw that parliament was quite weak, and there was no such concept of empowering the parliament, and things were working through presidential ordinances, and there was no rule of law. So I think this polarization, and then the polarization by the top leader of PTI himself, blaming and naming all those political opponents in public. So that integrated into the masses, and that was obviously not in the favor of the nation. And I believe this should not happen. Every party has a right to give their own point of view and give their own agenda, but they don't have right to belittle the other political parties or the other political opponents. You should at least leave some space so that later on you can sit together on a table and solve
Of course,
the
and
political
they should
issues.
follow the democratic principles and democratic norms. I just wish that happens. Nevertheless, do you see, final question to you, Mustafa, do you see any similarities between the whole turmoil that is happening in the Punjab Assembly and the vote of no confidence and what emanated at the National Assembly? Do you feel PTI is using the same methodologies more or less to create more havoc or chaos as far as judicial crises are concerned or political crises are concerned?
Yeah, I think they will try to repeat all those tactics which they used earlier in vote of no confidence, and they will try to make this thing controversial so that they can buy some time and create some kind of confusion and chaos, so that ultimately there would be a pressure on the election commission or the ruling party or the federal government, so that they can call for early elections. But I don't think so this will happen, because Khan has already played his cards, and this was his last card, and he
All
played
right.
it, and it did end up well.
Let's see how things go on, because of course only the coming days will make things clear as to what is the future as far as this issue that has emanated in the Punjab Assembly and the Punjab provincial government is concerned, and how is it going to move forward? Because a lot of issues are kind of jumbling together in an era where Pakistan needs a collective resolve. We are seeing deliberate polarization by opposition parties, and this is something that should not happen in a country like Pakistan at the stage that Pakistan is in. Thank you so very much, Mustafa Abdullah, Baloch, political analyst, who have joined us, who have talked to us about the current crisis that is engulfing and has engulfed, in fact, the Punjab Assembly. 4 p.m. has passed. The Punjab Chief Minister was to take a vote of confidence. He hasn't taken that. What is the future of the Punjab Assembly and the Chief Minister? Only time will tell. Let's come to our second story, and that concerns the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Mohammad Shehbaz Sharif, who has strongly condemned the terrorist incidents that took place in different parts of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, and he has vowed to crush the nefarious designs of terrorists who intend to spread chaos in Pakistan. More in the following report.
Pakistan has rendered matchless sacrifices in combating terrorism, and particularly the martyrs and the great sacrifices of the armed forces, police, rangers and other law enforcement agencies deserve generous accolade. Operation Sarbeaz and Raddul Fasad were important measures to end terrorism in the country, but fight against terrorism continues as terror threat is rearing its head again in certain areas of Pakistan. In their most audacious attack yet since late, when they called off their 10-year ceasefire with the government, 33 TTP militants detained inside Banu Counter-Terrorism Department Centre managed to overpower their interrogators and take a number of enforcement personnel hostage. According to ISPR, soldiers from the Special Service Group foiled the militants' attempts to escape the facility after their demand to provide them a safe passage to Afghanistan was rejected. The Army's elite commandos killed 25 militants, ending a 3-day hostage situation, while at least 3 SSG commandos were martyred. Prime Minister Shehbaz hailed the ample response of armed forces, saying that the nation will defeat terrorism by supporting its forces. KP has seen a surge in terrorist attacks, while incidents of unprovoked cross-border shelling by Afghan Taliban forces into Pakistani's territory from across Jammu border also took place. Pakistan would address the external facilitation of terrorists and attempts to spread chaos in Pakistan through terrorism will be dealt with an iron fist. There is also dire need for collective thinking and an action plan to deal with the impending issue of national security.
Brigadier Nadir, defence analyst, joins us online. Brigadier Saab, thank you very much to have joined us. Brigadier Saab, we've had strong comments that have emanated both from the Prime Minister and our Foreign Minister as far as the terrorist incidents that have engulfed Khyber Pakhtunkhwa of late are concerned. I would like to start with what the Prime Minister said, and he said that this is a sensitive issue of national security. A collective thinking and action plan are needed in this regard. Do you feel the National Action Plan might take a turn, or maybe there might be other clauses added in the wake of such incidents? What is going to be the future as far as this quote by our Prime Minister is concerned when he talks of a collective thinking and action plan?
Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif is absolutely right, because national security is for the whole nation. And obviously collective thinking and collective action and participation is required. Collective means the whole nation in various affairs, everybody doing his job. Actually, Pakistan has 2 issues. One is national security that we are discussing, and the other is course economics, which I am not discussing at the moment. Well, COS General Sayyid Asim Munir, right from taking over from the day one, has given a very firm policy of proactive national defense, which is supported by the entire nation. Because as we can see, what is happening is that a new kind of undeclared war has taken place. Recently, as you've seen, Major Abid of SSG and his team deserve congratulations for the brave and successful operation at Banu, and, for the whole nation, which applauds them for saving the nation, because these things are aimed at all of, the terrorists are attacking all of Pakistan. It doesn't matter which it is Banu or Karachi or Lahore. It's part of Pakistan. And this is happening on a western border, which is not simply isolated terrorist attack. There's a complete pattern which is becoming visible. And in this regard, the Peshawar Corps Commander, that is General Sardar Hassan, and also in Quetta, the Corps Commander, General Asif Ghafoor, are leading from the front personally, because this is an undeclared war, as I said, which is happening against Pakistan. And it's not happening just out of nothing. There is method in the madness of what is happening. So we need to see the bigger geopolitical picture so that this can fit in. And this is what we need to, and I brought it out in both my books, Gwadar on the Global Chessboard and Geopolitics Pakistan, that India's oversized geopolitical agenda is at work. And you're seeing it today. India wants, and it's openly says, see the social media, see the policy, see the statements of the generals and all that. They want to capture Azad Kashmir, Gilgit-Baltistan, separate Baluchistan and all that, which is just not possible.
So do you feel what is happening, Brigadier Saab, do you feel what is happening in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa in the last few days, the incidents that we have seen, including, the recent ones, do you feel that they have some kind of a link with India's nefarious designs against Pakistan? Or do you feel there are other elements that are at hand that are joining hands with India in creating instability in Pakistan?
Of course, there are elements in Afghanistan, terrorists, militants with the small agendas. But the bigger party, which has a bigger agenda, and I would say an oversized geopolitical agenda, is India. And India wants, as I said, it can't achieve what it wants, so it wants to exploit three things. And I mean, what I'm saying is, anybody who says, give the proof is just go on to the social media or the Indian media or what the Indian official statements are, and this thing will become so evident. First of all, they want to exploit the political instability in Pakistan. They were hoping for a civil war or anarchy or whatever, which has not taken place. Secondly, economic turmoil, which is there in Pakistan. So they were talking, and they are talking, that Pakistan should collapse Sri Lanka-wise, which it has not, and inshallah it will not. And the third thing they're trying to use is the terrorists from Afghanistan. So as your question is there a link? There is more than a link. And what General Asim Munir, the Army Chief, bold stance that he has taken has rattled the Indians. Because India, as you can see very recently, is also clashing with the Chinese. They have clashed with the Chinese in Tuang, which is Arunachal Pradesh. It is called Little Tibet, and it is Chinese territory. So there is a complete geopolitical package to hold this. It's not that these are some terrorists who are attacking by themselves. Pakistan has the capability of dealing with any kind of terrorists, as you have seen in Bannu, and it has the capability of defending itself against both the terrorists and the Indians also, if it comes to that. Also, I would like to say that what the Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto has aptly rebuked India, because appeasement policy will no longer work. And Pakistan must be proactive to counter Indian media campaigns and its propaganda. And as chairman of Pakistan National Reform Movement, PNRM, I've always said, unite and defend Pakistan. You would also note that both USA and China support, you've seen the recent American statement on as far as terrorism from Afghanistan is concerned. The Americans are supporting Pakistan, and interestingly, China and even other friends of Pakistan are supportive of Pakistan.
Even the United Nations has taken a strong, statement as far as requesting Afghanistan not to
that's exactly
do
what I'm
doing.
saying.
So, coming back to the facilitators, Brigadier Saab, coming to the facilitators of Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan and ISKP, otherwise known as Daesh, do you feel the international community is serious? Because we've seen the statements, whether it be from the US specifically as far as counterterrorism is concerned, and of course the United Nations and other important world leaders are also concerned. Do you feel the world or the important global players are serious in helping Pakistan or, joining hands with Pakistan to combat this once and for all?
Yes, they are very serious. The question is, how serious are we? You see, right now, the Americans are not there in Afghanistan. Right now, United States is not being attacked. It's not 9/11. Today, Pakistan is being attacked. So, as I've said previously on your channel and many channels, we have to make sure, while we try diplomacy and political, and by the way, I have said it before, and that is our policy and good policy. Pakistan wants very good relations with Afghan Taliban and with Kabul and Afghan people, and we will have that. But if any militant, anyone attacks Pakistan or uses Afghanistan, whatever, then we must use all options on the table. And I keep saying, across the border also, through various means. I'm not only referring to a particular means. What I'm trying to say, we have to prevent attack on Pakistan. It is as simple as that.
Bilawal Bhutto Zardari Sahab, Brigadier Sahab, referenced 2007 and 2022. Do you feel we are revisiting a bit of what happened in 2007?
Well, true, there are certain similarities, but overall the picture is different because, as I said earlier, in 2007, basically the Americans and NATO were in Afghanistan. So that war had, we have to see every war or every battle in a certain context or the environment or the geopolitics, I can say, since my works are on geopolitics. So the geopolitics is totally changed. At that time, the geopolitics was different. Today, United States is supportive, and I keep saying this, we must use the help of the Americans and the Chinese and our other friends like Turks and Saudis to defend Pakistan, whether we are attacked from the western border or eastern border or from wherever we are attacked. We have to defend Pakistan. And on Afghanistan side, we use diplomacy and other means because, after all, with Kabul and with Afghan state or people, we always have this supportive relationship. But as far as the other party is concerned, which is basically wanting to do this, which is India, I keep referring to it. What does India want? India wants Pakistan to conflict with Afghanistan so it can be free to be a peer rival of China. And obviously, we should not play the Indian game. So we are not interested in having a major conflict with Afghanistan. We need not to. We can manage it without that.
I mean, we have housed millions of their, refugees here since decades. Why would we want to create disharmony with a country that we call our brotherly country? But the fact remains that it should not be at the expense of any terrorist elements that emanates from Afghanistan. Should it be, as you yourself have said, Brigadier Saab? Brigadier Saab, our Prime Minister says the federal government will work with the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa government to revamp the counter-terrorism department. Post the 18th Amendment, how much was the responsibility of the provincial government to tackle this serious issue of terrorism?
First of all, it is the responsibility of the entire nation or all the governments. But like this incident there, I mean, there are certain, the police comes under the, and police and other forces come under the provincial government. So there's a lot of responsibility with the KPK government or Punjab government or any government to deal with terrorism or to deal with any law and order. It cannot be that, the first or smallest incident, the Pakistan army is called, as you've heard, Pakistan army is the last resort. So actually, it's the failure of the KPK government. And I'm not talking politics. I'm not against anybody. I'm talking in terms of security.
I understand.
I'm only talking security. I'm not talking politics. When I say failure, I'm not talking against the government there. I'm saying, and we must support. So I'm not saying they should be replaced. I'm saying they should be supported. The KPK government should be supported.
This is what the Prime Minister has said, that he wants to support the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa government.
He's right. The Prime Minister is absolutely right. We must support the KPK government, and I'm trying to say this, that we have to act like Pakistanis. Politics can wait, or politics can be for other issues. But as far as national security is concerned, as far as national integrity is concerned, as far as economics is concerned, there is no politics.
When you talk of politics, this is a very interesting question. Do you feel there should be, at this time and age, where we are, concerned with issues at different levels, whether it be economically or security-wise, don't you feel all the political parties, irrespective of their differences, should join hands and forge a united front against all such elements that are trying to thwart Pakistan on different fronts?
Exactly. I'm chairman of Pakistan National Reform Movement, which says unite Pakistan, defend Pakistan, reform Pakistan. This is the time when all the political elite of Pakistan need to get together to solve all the things that you've listed and others also. And first of all is national security and national economics. These are the two basic issues which are stated. And if they can't do it, well, then people are going to be disenchanted with them, and then that will lead to something else. So it's time for them to leave their petty politics or minor politics or bickering or whatever aside and get united, because there is no substitute for national unity in the face of external threat. And we have a clear external threat, as they say, clear and present danger from terrorists in Afghanistan and from India in the eastern border.
Brigadier Saab, do you feel there are loopholes in our counter-terrorism apparatus which need to be addressed? Do you feel the NAP, the National Action Plan, also needs to be revisited?
Obviously, if it was so perfect, how are these incidents, terrorist incidents and things occurring, and they have been happening in Baluchistan, and our soldiers have sacrificed themselves, our young officers have led the charge against terrorists, and even now you've seen how bravely Major Abed and his team and the soldiers, and some of them shaheed and some of them injured also, but for the sake of the nation, they will do everything. So I am trying to say that there is a need to revisit and to redo, and redoing any plan is part of it. It is any case an yearly or 6 monthly thing or quarterly which should be reviewed anyway. And in this case, there is no two ways about it. We need to see, first of all, the geopolitical environment. Previously, it used to be said, you see, it's not American drones attacking Pakistan. It's terrorists who are attacking Pakistan. So Pakistan needs to act with United States and China, I say. They are both our partners and friends, and similarly Turkey and similarly Saudi Arabia. We have to defend Pakistan against any threat. This is what I'm saying.
Brigadier Saab, also, what do you feel as far as the current interim Afghan government is concerned? If you remember, well, one of their major statements from their foreign minister was that they will not allow any element to, attack or affect neighboring countries. But Pakistan is being affected majorly by these attacks of the TTP, which are emanating from Afghanistan. Despite what the TTP head says, when he says to CNN that contrary to what he gave a very contrary statement as to where the attacks were emanating from. Nevertheless, what does this point towards as far as the interim Taliban regime is concerned and its attitude towards the TTP?
I keep saying this. Pakistan has to make its policy clear. And I, as chairman of PNRM, Pakistan National Reform Movement, have always said this. Our problem is not Afghanistan or India. That is later. Our problem is Pakistan. We have to be clear that we will not allow any attack. It doesn't matter who is in power in Kabul. I mean, does it matter whether they're communist or capitalist or Taliban or Zionist or atheist in power in Kabul, whether you're attacked? The main thing is Pakistan should not be attacked. So we have to make this policy clear to the people, that is, in this case, Afghan Taliban, with whom we have good relations and whom we support. Incidentally, Pakistan is the only country which has supported them globally on everything. So I think we can make it clear to them in the language they understand and, in a brotherly manner that this is not tolerable. And that's what I'm trying to say. I've said it, and now I'm going to say it very openly. We can tell them that we will support Kabul first, as Pakistan is concerned, with the help of the world in terms of economics or whatever we can do. But we are going to target those who are attacking Pakistan in Afghanistan. We should make this policy, and we have the means to do it, and we should make it clear to them that we are not attacking the Kabul regime. We are attacking them. So we have to differentiate between them. When we say that Afghan Taliban are not attacking Pakistan, I also say that. But somebody else is. And incidentally, it is not only TTP. Or it's also people who are attacking Baluchistan are not TTP only. There are others. There are a number of militant organizations which are attacking Pakistan. So I keep saying that names don't matter. We keep getting involved in names.
It's the strategy that matters. It's the strategy that matters.
It is a policy that and I keep saying this and I repeat it now, no one should attack Pakistan and get away with it. We have to make sure, and we should give a policy, we will go back after them, wherever they may be in India or they may be somewhere else in the world, but Pakistan will go back and strike them in any corner of the world and make sure that they are not able to attack Pakistan. If this is the policy and we implement it, I don't think there will be attacks after some time.
All right. The DGISPR, while talking to a private news channel, said the operation is a testimony, the operation in Bannu, to the Pakistan Army's bravery and mission against terrorism. When you at the one hand know that our armed forces are on the front line of the defense of our country, should we let any organization, any person, any party talk against our armed forces?
First of all, DGISPR, Jan Sharif is very right. This is the way that it was conducted, and everybody has seen it, and at the cost of our own commandos and soldiers getting shaheed and officers and soldiers getting injured also. But they eliminated and finished off the terrorists and cleared the place. That is one. So it's a very successful and a bold mission. That is one. But we see it from the other angle before I come to your part of the question. Whoever is doing it, and of course, if they're not Afghan Taliban coming from Afghan government attacking you right now here, it's different terrorists or militants. Basically, the Indians are following a policy of making the Pakistan army or military bleed on this side so that it is too weakened economically, militarily, psychologically, and so they can dictate us or overshadow us and, hegemonize and dominate this area and be free to confront China. That's what the Indian overall design is. That is, as far as that is concerned. So we have to negate that. And we can deal that. Well, I'll come to that. But your point is, and very valid, no one is to be allowed in Pakistan to talk against the brave soldiers of Pakistan and officers of Pakistan who are fighting and dying for this country. And anyone who does it should be taken action. And it's not only in Pakistan. You go and in so-called democratic, I'm not saying so-called, but let's call them democratic countries, model democratic countries like UK, USA, or any country, and try to speak against their armed forces and see what happens to you. I challenge anyone. Go and try it. Just try it and see what happens. Anyone can go and try and see what happens next. So it is not allowed anywhere in the world. So the point is, it's high time that it is made sure and strictest action has to be taken. This mild action is not required. It's not just giving statements. They have to be, those people should be, and the law is there. The law should be fully implemented.
Made an example of. Thank you very much, Brigadier Nadir, defense analyst, to have joined us, to have talked to us about the resolve by our Prime Minister to have a stronger defense system. And of course, we've seen how our armed forces have also contributed to that in this latest incident of the Banu CTD, where the operation was, as the DGISP also said, as testimony to the Pakistan Army's bravery and mission against terrorism. And also our Prime Minister, who says by appreciating the armed forces' response to terrorism, that the entire nation will end terrorism by supporting our brave forces. He also said the sacrifices of the martyrs will not go to waste. The great sacrifices of the armed forces, the police, the rangers and other law enforcement agencies that rendered for the motherland cannot be forgotten, and they should not be forgotten. We need to respect that, and we need to go forward. In order to become a strong nation, we need to defend our armed forces, who are there to defend us, as we've seen in the Banu CTD incident. And there are so many factors, external and internal, that are trying to destabilize the country, and we need to stand as one against them. Let's come to our last three stories, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let's begin with the 4RF program for the Pakistan Floods 2022. Now, the Prime Minister of Pakistan has launched this resilient recovery, rehabilitation and reconstruction framework for the Pakistan floods. Mr. Hassan Iqbal, who is the Minister for Planning, Development and Special Initiatives, called on the Prime Minister and presented him a copy of this report. He also apprised that this document was the action plan for rehabilitation and reconstruction of the damages caused by the recent climate-induced floods. This is based on the loss and damage estimated in the Post-Disaster Needs Assessment Report, otherwise known as the PDNA report, which was launched in late October last year. Also, there were different methodologies in that document, this document contains short, medium and long-term climate resilient strategies. And of course, the Prime Minister has directed that necessary efforts need to be made for effective pitching of this framework in the upcoming development conference that is going to be held on the 9th of January in Geneva, which is going to be held between our government and the United Nations. So it's going to be very important. Next, ladies and gentlemen, let's come to the situation as far as Afghan women and the fact that they are now not being allowed to pursue their higher education. And this has caused great concern internationally and in Pakistan as well. Our foreign minister has talked about it. Our foreign office has talked about it. Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto Zardari voiced disappointment. He said, quote unquote, "I am disappointed by the decision that was taken today." But he said the easiest path to our goal, despite having a lot of setbacks when it comes to women's education and other things, is through Kabul and through the interim government. On the other hand, the Foreign Office has also urged Afghan authorities to revisit its decision to suspend university education for women. It says, quote unquote, "Pakistan is disappointed to learn about the suspension of university and higher education for female students in Afghanistan. Pakistan's position on this issue has been clear and consistent," says the statement. "We strongly believe that every man and woman has the inherent right to education in accordance with the injunctions of Islam." Let's hope some kind of a change comes as far as this recent decision by the Afghan interim government is concerned. And finally, let's come to the world of social media and Twitter. Now, Elon Musk says he's going to step down as the Twitter CEO once a successor is found. If you remember, there was a poll that was very recently made by him on his behest to his millions of followers, and he asked them, all right, you need to poll in and say whether I should stand in, continue working as the CEO of Twitter, or should I stand down? And around 57% of people said that you need to stand down. Now, as far as that result is concerned, he has now said that he's going to step down as far as being the CEO of Twitter is concerned. Of course, he's going to handle the Twitter nevertheless. But there are so many issues when it concerns Twitter since he has taken over this social media platform. On Sunday, Twitter users were told they will not be able to promote content from other social media sites. He did revert to it a bit later, writing that the policy would be limiting to suspending accounts only when the account's primary purpose is promotion of competitors. But this has left a very sour taste in a lot of people and a lot of his followers and a lot of advertisers who pour in money as far as Twitter is concerned. Then, if you all remember that he also had said after taking over the platform that Twitter will be charging $8 per month to verify account holders' identities. Then he had to suspend this Twitter Blue plan after an embarrassing rash of fake accounts that we had all seen as well. Also, on the 4th of November, he had said that the company was losing $4 million a day, and Twitter then laid off about half of its 7,500 strong staff. He has also lately suspended the accounts of several journalists after complaining that some had published details about the movements of his private jet, which he claimed could endanger his family. Some of those accounts have since then been reactivated, but also on a very strong front politically, the head of the European Parliament, Speaker Roberta Metsola, has sent a letter to Musk inviting him to testify before the legislature. This was said by her spokesperson. A lot of disarray as far as Twitter is concerned. Let's hope some kind of stability happens and that eventually Elon Musk steps down as the CEO and takes care of other issues, other companies that he's handling, so that people can maybe heave a sigh of relief. Let's see what the coming days have in store for Twitter. With that, we come to an end of today's newsroom. We'll see you inshallah tomorrow with new story segments that pertain to us, you and Pakistan. Stay safe and help those in need, especially due to the floods. Allah Hafiz.